Well, for the last, since the World Cup, you've been playing one game a week. I mean, from next week, really, you're going to be playing 2 games a week, pretty much to the end of the season. How much does that change the dynamic, and how much did it change your job, playing every sort of 2 or 3 days?
Well, a lot, because we're going to have much less time to train and to recover. So I'm sure we're going to have to share more minutes around the squad, which is great because we're going to have to give opportunities to everybody, new competitions coming up as well, so really nice.
But obviously, I mean, there's going to be a lot of travelling involved as well. People are almost going to start thinking, Arsenal fans might say, well, let's just concentrate on the league title. Presumably, you're not going to be sacking off the Europa League.
I don't know. We will try to put all the time the team that we believe is the best to win on the day, because if you do something different, they will say, but why we picked this team and then you didn't win in the Europa League, so you're never going to win that battle. We're going to put the team and the players that are in the best possible condition to win actually the game, because it's really important to win that game, to be in a better condition to win the next one, and that's what I will try to do with the team.
I'm just very briefly on Bukayo. I'm surprised I think he's played about God knows how many games in a row. He seems to play every week. Are you surprised that he's actually managed to come back every week, play 50 games or whatever it is?
No, because I really see his determination and where he wants to get, and we have discussed that a lot, individual talks with him, and he really wants to get there, and he wants to have that resilience and that capacity to constantly show a certain level and always be available. And then, he has a great physical elements to be able to do that every 3 days, and hopefully he can continue to do that.
Dan?
Mikel, sorry to change the subject, ask you about Bukayo actually. Can you just give us an idea, obviously there's all the noise about how he's treated by referees and opposition. Can you give us an idea of how he perceives it and how he reacts behind closed doors? Like, does he bring it up with you? Is he concerned about it?
I think the word I would use is normality. I think he's used to it, as I said before, since he was 10, 11, 12 years, because that's the game that he plays, and I don't see like he's concerned at all. It's a challenge that he's going to have face with every opponent in front of him, and he wants to win that challenge. That's it.
And throughout this season, you've kind of set him, it feels like you've kind of set him challenges to play like 70 games a season to kind of be like the best players in the world. And we saw a reaction last week when he was tackled by Philippe Coutinho, which perhaps isn't what we'd normally associate with Bukayo, the reaction. Has he kind of met those challenges in kind of developing his mentality that you've been setting him this season?
Well, the first one that has to protect Bukayo is himself, and there's many ways to do that on a football pitch within the rules. And he needs to learn and needs to improve that. The way he reacted in a way, but that line is extremely thin, and that cannot take him out of his game and lose the focus. But he can help that as well to have more focus, more determination, and more belief for the next action. So it's something that he needs to do.
Nick, another topic?
I will change the subject a bit. You've had 13 different goal scorers this season in the league, which is more than anyone else in the top flight, I think. How healthy is that, spreading the goals around in terms of maintaining a challenge? And also, I think you talked maybe last season about needing to sort of spread things out like that, bridge the gap of goal scoring, to the top clubs. How pleased are you with that, and have you done it as well?
Well, very pleased, because at the end of the day you're going to have to score a certain amount of goals or clean sheets if you want to be at the top, and if you don't have a player scores 30 goals in the league, I'm sure that somehow we have to find them, and we have to try to elevate the level and the influence of a lot of players in and around the box in the final third or in set plays, and we have to continue to do that, especially from our midfield areas and our back line, and to add more goals, because it's going to be crucial, every single goal that they can contribute with the threat that we have in the front line to be up there.
Is it healthier to have that diverse goal scoring threat than to maybe have, I don't know, one striker who's scored 26 or something like that?
Both.
Yeah.
Ideally you have both, then then you are on fire.
Can I ask one more about striker? So, Eddie Nketiah, obviously we know what he brings to the team. Maybe the last few games it's not quite gone for him in front of goal. Normally he's such a poacher. Have you had to talk to him and reassure him that it's all going fine?
It is, because we are creating the chances, and he's at the end of those chances, and he knows that he could have put away, and that's his biggest quality, to put chances away. It hasn't happened, but that happens to any striker in the world.
Can I just ask about Granit? Obviously he scored, I think, 4 goals in the first 15 games and hasn't scored since, and maybe not quite contributing in the same way he was in the first part of the season. What's changed, do you think?
Well, it's a good question. It's certainly we looked at that, and how many times he's arriving in the box, and the moments that he's arriving in the box, the kind of delivery he got when he got into those positions, and he could have much better service in many occasions when he was in those positions. But certainly to maintain our level, we need goals from midfield, and that's a big target for us.
With the way that position has changed in the team, is that now where you see Emil sort of competing alongside Granit rather than left wing staying wide?
He can do a bit of both, to be fair, depending on the game plan, depending on the couples and the units that we use in that left side. But yeah, you ask me, Emil, where I see him like really contributing at his best from is in the attacking midfield position.
Darren, Romero?
I just wanted to talk about support, really. During difficult times, you got a lot of support from the club. Brendan had it as well at Leicester as well. And I just wonder if, particularly in this current environment with social media and all of the outside pressures, whether it's even more of a commodity now, an important commodity during these difficult moments, and where the club sees what you're trying to do, even though the results are bad and all of the noise from outside is difficult to take as well.
Well, extremely important. Obviously, the people you work with, they need to have faith, but at the same time, they have to see every day what do you do, and I think it's something that works very close together. And I was lucky to have the people and the ownership and the board that we have, and they believe that we could continue to the work that we wanted to do. That work needed time, and hopefully we can pay that faith back.
And just, Jorginho scored the other day, we were talking about it earlier. Every time you miss out on a player, you seem to bring one in that's a better fit for the team. Do you think that maybe some of the players who've missed out, who've not chosen not to come or be bigger, kind of look at what's happening at Arsenal, maybe miss out, consider themselves maybe.
Well, I don't know what they would be thinking, those players, but I'm certainly really happy with the players that we have, the players that we have recruited, and especially with I think where we can take this group and these players individually to a different level, and this is the aim of the coaching staff and the club.
And finally, we'll go to James.
Hi, Mikel.
Hi.
Can I ask you about Fabio Vieira, because he had quite a slow introduction to English football, but he's featuring for you a lot more regularly now. I think he's come on in the last 4 Premier League games. What's your assessment of where he is in his adaptation at this point in time?
Very close. He's started to give me big headaches because I see him every single day what he's capable of doing. A tremendous player that now understands exactly what we want. I think now physically is in the conditions to compete at the right level in this league, and it brings qualities that we don't have in the squad. So very eager to give him more.
Because of his size, I think the physicality is always going to be the thing that's questioned about him. He's been playing sort of a midfield role for you in recent games. Do you think that he can live with that and cope with that in the Premier League?
Yeah, if he needs to compete with 30 balls in the air against certain players in the league, I think he's going to lose 28. But if we give him the right spaces, the ball, and we ask him to do some defensive work that he can do, and if we put him in front of goal the amount of time that we want to do, I think he will do really well in this league. But if we do the opposite, I don't think he's going to do well in the league.
Okay, everyone. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Good luck.